What if I was to tell you this is the positional rotation that Ruben Amorim desperately wants, and it's not possible without Bryan Mbeumo? Like, Ruben Amorim wants what every coach in the world wants. It's what every coach in the world wants. Players that can interchange with one another. Players that are comfortable playing all over the attacking zone, but players that are penetrative. Players that can play in and around one another, in close proximity, interchange, to keep the opposition guessing. It's all beginning to make sense. And Mbeumo, Amad Diallo on the right hand side, two players throughout their careers that have shown, one, they can play out wide, wing back. Two, they can play in that roaming number 10 position in and around their teammates closer to goal. Them two interchanging with one another, it will bring a completely new dimension to Manchester United's right hand side. These types of profiles on the pitch would allow Manchester United to recreate goal scoring opportunities very similar to this. And this is what the opposition hate coming up against. This was a goal against Everton last season where Amad Diallo was the right wing back. Marcus Rashford was the roaming number 10 on the right hand side. The wing back tucks in. The roaming number 10 makes the run inwards across goal. Wing back feeds the 10. 10 scores, 1-0 Manchester United. It's simple. It's all beginning to make sense. Now, this was another goal scoring opportunity against Southampton, where Joshua Zirkzee was the roaming number 10 on the right hand side. Amad Diallo, once again, the wing back. Look at how close they are with one another. This is what Amorim wants. And because of that, Manchester United need to go out and pay the money for somebody like Bryan Mbeumo. Premier League proven. He scores you goals, a variety of different goals. He can chop and change with his teammates. He can play all over the park. And it will definitely bring something new to this Manchester United attack. Because last season, Manchester United were very right side heavy. Let's just put it like that. If it wasn't Amad Diallo creating, if it wasn't him scoring, Man United were not creating anything. Man United were not penetrative. Now, they've already addressed the area on the left-hand side by signing somebody like Matheus Cunha. With Bruno Fernandes, as it seems, his long-term future is in that midfield too. Ruben Amorim wants himself two players on the right-hand side that can chop and change with one another. But when they do chop and change, they're penetrative. They can create, they can score. And Mbeumo ticks those boxes, Amad Diallo ticks those boxes. Now, Brentford are asking for roughly 65 million. It's a lot of money. But this is a guy that guarantees you goals. This is the guy that's Premier League proven. Like, come on. Manchester United have already paid far more for players like Ante. They have never done it in the Premier League. And they probably never ever will. They've paid far more money for somebody like Jadon Sancho. That's never ever done it in the Premier League. And he never ever will. They've paid far money for somebody like Rasmus Højlund, who's never done it in the Premier League. And he never ever will. Somebody that's Premier League proven. Somebody that fits the philosophy. Somebody that fits the tactics. Somebody that actually has experience playing in the 3-4-2-1 under Thomas Frank at Brentford. It ticks all of Amorim's boxes. And Manchester United need Bryan Mbeumo so desperately. Like, they need him for the goal, for the playmaking, but also for the tactical fluidity. And I feel like Ruben Amorim needs to start putting pressure on Ineos to get this deal over the line before other clubs come into the frame and snap him up. Because Bryan Mbeumo, 65 million, the goals, the playmaking ability, the experience, the ability off the ball, everything about him, he's worth every penny, in my opinion. But it leaves us with this one dilemma, with this one question, in my opinion. Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo, Amad Diallo. I don't know what the long-term future holds for Manchester United's number 9. Rasmus Højlund, it's not working out. I don't think he works with somebody like Matheus Cunha. I don't think he works with somebody like Bryan Mbeumo. In my opinion, you want that trio to work. You want to play to that trio's strengths. Manchester United's long-term number 9 next season would have to be somebody like Joshua Zirkzee. Now, fair enough, he doesn't bring you output. Well, Rasmus Højlund doesn't even bring you output. He doesn't bring you much output, but he definitely brings you an element which can benefit Cunha, which can benefit somebody like Bryan Mbeumo. Very similar to how Bryan Mbeumo, he worked very well with somebody like Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney was the target man, the person that hold up the ball, that won the headers for him to run onto. Manchester United can utilise Zirkzee in a very similar way. Zirkzee is more of a target man, a focal point, than he is a player that runs in behind, because he doesn't really have that physicality, that running speed to run the channels. Somebody like Mbeumo can benefit a lot from somebody like Joshua Zirkzee leading the line. And the exact same thing can be said about Matheus Cunha. But where it would help is the fact that all three of them can play in all over those three positions. Zirkzee last season, we saw him play on the left 10. We saw him play on the right-hand side of the 10. But we also saw him play down the middle. The exact same thing about Matheus Cunha. We've seen him play on the left, on the right, or as the focal point 9. And Bryan Mbeumo, we've seen him play as an attacking force in the 3-5-2, occupying that central zone, him and Yoane Wissa. This It's not even what Amorim wants. It's what every coach in the world wants. 3 players that can chop and change with one another. But 3 players, depending on the zone they occupy, they bring different things. Zirkzee leading the line is very different to somebody like Mbeumo leading the line. And Mbeumo leading the line is very different to somebody like Matheus Cunha leading the line. Rasmus Højlund, he doesn't really have a future in this Manchester United long-term attack because he can only do one position and one position only, and he doesn't do it that well. So it wouldn't make sense. You put Rasmus Højlund up front, he can't chop and change with Cunha because he can't play in that left 10 position. He can't chop and change with Mbeumo. He can't play in that right-sided 10. It's all about fluidity, and that's what Manchester United need more than anything. Now, if you're new to Hajball Extra, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, engage in the comments, and I will catch you guys on another one.